Hey guys, welcome to today's quickfire session. I'm going to be showing how to work with deleting items, challenges that you might come across when deleting items, um, and just kind of getting to know how to um, delete an item that it doesn't let you delete it, but you know that it's not referenced to anything, or it may still be referenced, but how to update the reference link database and how to work with that whole scenario. It seems to be one of the more challenging areas of Sitecore. So let's say you came across a scenario where you wanted to delete. A good example would be, let's say you want to delete the home template. Now, obviously, this is going to argue with me when I try to delete it because I actually have a linked item, which is the home item that inherits from that template called home. So, so if I go to here and I select it and I try to delete it, it'll say, "Are you sure?" And it'll say it is used by at least one item, and that you need to delete um, those items in order to delete a template that's being used by it. So um, that's great and that's useful to know, but you probably are now thinking, well, what if I'm deleting a template and I don't know what all items it's being used by? Obviously, you could something like this, a home item, it's probably being only used by the home items, but and the pictures are very useful as well to determine what items are, but you don't know, sometimes you might not know where they are at in the tree. So there's a great option in the Navigate tab. If you go to the right here, you'll see that it's called Links. This will show you everything that this current item is linked to, either things that link to it or things that it links to. Or, yeah, I think I said that right. So, for example, items that the selected item refer to are here, and then all the items that the selected item, all the items that refer to the selected item are listed here. So when you're deleting something, it's important that this list is empty. But sometimes you'll find that you've deleted everything off this list, and you'll still see that it shows items in this list. So there's actually something you sometimes will need to do. This seems to come up a decent fair amount when you're working with TDS, which I'll cover at a later date, which is just used for source controlling items if you're working with a team in a team development environment. But you just gotten latest. You've synced your items. It's telling you it needs to delete some items or templates, but it won't let you for some reason. And you've gone through and tried to adjust the order that you're syncing and deleting items, and it still won't let you do it. And then you've gone in here and you've checked the item that it's trying to delete, and you see that there's nothing selected. So what can you do about that? So let's show you. So if you go back to the Launchpad and you go to Control Panel, once the Control Panel loads, you'll see an option for the link database or database, and there's several options here. Rebuild link database is actually option we want, but we might also want to move an item to another database. That's not really related to this topic, but it could be an option down the road. Cleaning up databases. This also is off topic, but it's an important question that you might have. You might have a scenario where something seems corrupted with one of your databases. You can actually just run a cleanup database. And you can also see database usage. So this whole area here is very useful for understanding different things with your databases. So what we're going to do is we're going to click on Rebuild Link Database. Now typically you won't necessarily need to update web or core or whatever. In this scenario, more likely you're just going to be updating the master. So I can click Rebuild and we'll give it a few minutes. All right, it's done. So now if I go back to, I mean, this is a bad example, but if I go back to that item after it's done this, when I go to delete or when I view the changes, it's actually still going to be the same, but um, for navigate, it's going to still show the same options. But sometimes this like database can get corrupted, or it can show items that no longer exist here. So that's a very important way to update the linked database and allows you to delete items. Just some other notes about deleting items. So obviously, if you're deleting a template, you're going to have to delete the standard values first. It won't ever let you delete the home without deleting standard values first. If you're deleting a template, it's important to make sure, especially if it's a page level template, it's important to delete the items it inherits from first. Layouts are pretty straightforward to delete. If you're ever doing a rendering or something like that, it's usually it will usually give the option if you want to. I'll show you real quick. If I click delete, it'll ask me if I'm sure, but it will give me these options. Do I want to remove the links, which will just literally go in to whatever items it's assigned to, whatever pages or whatever that rendering is associated to. It will just remove those links. You can go and select link to another item. This will go through each of the links that it finds, and it gives you each time an option to link it to another item. And lastly is you can leave the links, which will basically leave IDs, and you'll see this kind of in the if you go into the PLID or the presentation details, you'll see where it says rendering undefined or unknown. That's really not a good option in my opinion. You can also click on edit links, which is very similar to link to another item, so it's pretty much the same thing. If I click here, you'll see that it just shows me the items that this rendering is being used on. So I could now go, okay, well, I want to remove this link, or I want to link to another item, or I just want to edit it. So if I want to vary, if I don't want to do a broad action, I just want to vary my actions. Like I wanted to maybe delete most of them, but I want to maybe link to another item for some of them, then this is how I could do that. So that's pretty straightforward about how you delete items. You'll see this dialog in a lot of other scenarios as well, and it's a pretty useful tool for deleting items or deleting templates or renderings from the page. All right, well that's it for this session. Let me know if you have any questions. You can leave me comments, or you can reach out to me in my LinkedIn, or on my blog, or even on Twitter. So, all right. Talk to you guys later.